That's good news. Martin been a member of Hollywood Center for many years. He also served as the president of Hollywood Center, and now currently he's serving as a young adult advisor for the Region 8. Martin, welcome. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
Sam, thank you. Thank you, Daniela. And I pray to Swami to speak through me, and that whatever message he wants to convey tonight will come across clearly. And I pray that my words will be his. Jai Saram. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba, for this opportunity. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you, everybody at the Hollywood Center, for this honor and opportunity to speak again as a follow-up on a talk that a sharing that I did about a month ago or so. So today I wanted to dig in a little bit more into some of Swami's words. But before I do that, I wanted to share a small, or it's no lila is a small, but it's a small lila, but it's actually quite a big one. And it's related to a part of what I talked about last time, which was just as a refresher. I shared with you all my first Baba dream that I had, where Baba materialized with the palm up these beautiful stones. They were like very colorful and beyond basically worldly. I mean, they were so exceptionally gorgeous, and then there was this beautiful sort of heavenly chimes sounding while they materialized. And when that happened, I just fell flat on the floor saying, "You're God, you're God, you're God." So that what happened sometime in the early 90s was my first Baba dream. Then about a decade later, I was very lucky, I guess, to be at Baba's feet, where he materialized the ring with these stones that he had shown me in the dream about a decade prior. And I shared with you how that happened. He said he put the ring on my finger. He said perfect fit before he put it on, and then he explained it's a Navaratna ring. He said it's protection from the negative influences of the 9 planets. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, about a month or two ago, I was taking a shower and I looked at the ring and I noticed that one of the stones was missing. And oh my God, I was not happy. I was shocked. I was not happy at all, as you can imagine. It's something that, was materialized by Baba, and losing something that was a big deal for me. And so luckily, so this was in the shower, and luckily we've been remodeling the house, and the floor of the shower is no longer the dark that it used to be. It's a nice white tile. So I saw this dot on the white tile, and he said, "Oh my God, it cannot be, can it? Is that it?" I mean, I noticed that this stone is missing, and I looked down at my feet. I mean, he must have prompted me to see it now, and he must have prompted me to look down on the floor and see this tiny little dark speck on the floor. And I thought, if that's it, that would be amazing. I mean, it was about to be, washed out. Anyway, in time I grabbed it, and yes, indeed, it was the stone. So I was elated to have found it, shocked that it came out. And the thing is, since he put it on my finger, I've never taken it off. So this was about just over 2 decades ago that he put it on my finger, and I've never taken it off. So it's kind of stuck there. So if I wanted to get it fixed, how do you do that? You go to a jeweler and you say, "Can you fix it? But sorry, you can't take it off my finger." That's a little tricky. So I thought, you know what, maybe I should just look into getting a really good super glue that works well with this kind of thing, with glass and metal and all that stuff. So I found a good super glue. I put in a nice big drop of super glue, popped it in, and it kind of clicked into place. And it's like, oh my God, that'll never come out, because super glue and it's tight in there. So I was happy. So I thought that fixes that. Well, as some of you may know, we recently went to celebrate our the Tyranny and myself, our 20-year wedding anniversary in the Caribbean, in British Virgin Islands, Turks and Caicos. It was very nice. We were far away, celebrating, like I said, both our wedding anniversary, 20-year anniversary, wedding anniversary, and her birthday. And the day after our wedding anniversary, I looked at my ring, and guess what? You guessed it, the stone was gone. Well, I hadn't looked at the ring for a while, so it could literally be anywhere in Los Angeles or anywhere in between Los Angeles and, well, actually Atlanta, because that's where we landed and we stayed there. We had a long layover. So it could be anywhere between LA, Atlanta, between Atlanta and British Virgin Islands, anywhere on the beach, anywhere in the water, anywhere in the, I mean, you name it. It could have been anywhere. So I was devastated, saying, oh, this time I really lost it. This time I've really done it. What did I do wrong, Swami? What's the teaching here? What did I do wrong? So I was really a little bit upset. I was very sad. And I started making deals with Swami. Okay, I'll start doing the Vedas and the Veda chanting, and I'll catch up. I know I'm behind with that. And in the back of my head, I was, or whatever, certainly not a voice, but like this feeling, like, check the car. All right, check the car. But and it kept coming. So, but before I did that, I said, you know what, I'm going to first look at where it's probably most likely to be. I checked the bed, I checked the pool. And then finally, it kept sort of bugging, or not bugging me, but kind of prompting me. So I go check the car. So I went to the car. And as you may know, in the British Virgin Islands, they drive on the left side instead of the right side, and the steering wheel is on the right side. So I went to the driver's seat, took out the mat, shook it out, lots of sand came out, sort of sifted through it, nothing. And now I need to get a screen sharing, if you don't mind. I don't know how, let me see if I can do this. I hope this is gonna work. Gene, you may need to help me through this. Let's see. Oy.
Well, you have to set something on your desktop, and
Yeah.
then click on screen share.
There is the green button, share screen, down. If you see there, there's menu down.
Yeah, I see that. Do I just click on desktop?
Yeah, click the share screen, the green button.
Preferences, it says. Oh my goodness, we should have done this before. All right, well, I don't know if this is gonna work. Oh yeah, I know.
Maarten,
Oh.
whatever you want to show, you put it on your desktop.
Yeah, but
Then you click on the share screen. And you have to select it and then click on share screen.
All right, hold on a second. Sorry about this. If I won't spend too much time on this. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and so be it. Okay.
No, we want to see that video with Maarten.
You do. But let me see. Okay, so I have selected it, and now what? What do I do?
You click this share screen, and then you select what you would like to on your desktop.
And then on the right side, on the bottom, it says share.
Allow Zoom to share your screen, open system preferences, security. Okay, I have to open system preferences. Oh my goodness. All right, well, this is working out so well.
You don't need to mess with system preferences. You just click on share screen, and then find the thing on your desktop that you want to show, and then click on that, and then click share. Lower right corner.
Well, I click. Okay, let me do this. Share. I see, and then it says desktop.
Yeah.
Then
Click on desktop.
Yeah.
Or the item you want to show, and then click lower right corner, share.
Then okay, so then I hit share, and then it just says open system preferences.
Just click on share.
Yeah, but I did that, and then it says open system preferences. All right. So what I'll do is I'll just show it in another way. It's unfortunate because I had some quotes in there too that I wanted to share. So I wish we had this, but sorry about that.
It's okay, Maarten. Or you could the picture, if you have on yourself, or you could.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, but I just can't. I'm just kind of bummed. Let me just try one last time. Open system preferences. Why is it not doing that?
And what it says when you open the system preferences?
Nothing. It goes away. I don't know why. Okay, I'm afraid it's not meant to be, but I'll just do it with my phone. And
Could you text the picture to me, Martin? I could share it here then.
Yeah,
Connected to this, my phone connected to my laptop.
okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can send you the whole
Mhm.
thing if you want.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can email her or send her.
Just by text is okay. It's,
Right.
it's connected my cell phone to my laptop.
You mean the chat? Can I do it in the chat? What about the chat?
Yeah, you can share items
yes.
in the chat as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you can share files in the chat. Yeah.
It's a big one, so I don't know if that's going to work, but let's give it a shot. Sorry, this is kind of fortunate.
No, we need to be patient. We are excited.
Yeah, I know. I just it's kind of a bummer that this is being so tricky. Oy, oy, oy.
Do you know how to share files in the chat?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
what I'm going to do actually, if you don't mind, is I'm just going to, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to send it by email. I think it's a
Okay.
because it's a pretty big file. So then that would be okay, there we go. And then here I'm just going to okay. Oh goodness.
Take your time.
Baba really testing me here.
Martin, why don't you text it to her?
Yeah,
Just, if it's in your phone, just text it to her.
I don't think it's going to take it because it's 200 megabytes. That's never going to work.
Oh,
That won't even work that won't even work by email, won't it? Will it? Okay, you know what?
And
Well,
what if
just-
you share files in the chat? That won't take it too?
no, what you do, Martin, is just hold it up.
Say what?
Just hold it up like here on the
Well,
phone. Just hold it up like this in front of the camera.
It's just
We
unfortunate.
can get an idea what
Yeah.
it looks like.
So anyway, now it's okay. Here we go. So, as I was telling you, I'm going to do this little by little. I had it obviously very nicely prepared. So I don't know if you can see. So this is the car. Steering wheel is on the left side, right? And then so now you get a little closer, and you can see on the left side of the steering wheel, or I don't know if it's
Yes.
reversing it, but
Yeah,
on
the white.
I think it's but it's reversing, so that is also unfortunate. But because somehow the steering wheel, I think what you're looking at looks like it's on the right on the left side, but it's the other way around and it's on the right side. Then so there is this oh man.
Martin, you could using cell phone text messaging one by one the picture.
Well, that's going to take some time. So
It's okay, Martin. We can see it. Just hold it up. Just hold it up and let us see what you got on the phone.
yes.
So that way we could see the whole.
Yeah. So so here you can see the and it's funny because it does reverse it, so everything is kind of now messed up. Anyway, so there is a cup holder on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. I'm just going to explain it to you, and then I'll finally. Here you can. I thought it was like a little hole.
Wow.
You guys see it?
Yeah.
So, and then finally, I made it. I magnified it here so you can see it. large.
Wow.
So of all places, and Bob has really tested me on this one because it was nice on the presentation, but so it could have been absolutely anywhere, this thing, and for it to end up, this ring is on my right hand, steering wheel is on the right hand, and then on the left hand is this cup holder, and somehow it ended up over there. I mean, I don't know. That was really big for me. So, and there it is. So I have it here on I put it on a little. I've not put it. I'm now scared to put it back. So that's another thing. And just to give you an idea, I had another prop just to make it even more dramatic. So this is the pinhead, which is basically larger. So talking about finding a needle in a haystack, that's what this was. And clearly that was Baba's doing. There's just no two ways about it. It could have been absolutely anywhere. So I was very grateful, and now it means I have to start chanting Vedam, because that's a big deal. Angelica knows, and Deborah, is Deborah here too? Yeah, they've been very active in that regard, and I'm behind, but I need to get started on that. So anyway, that was an interesting little story that happened over the last few weeks, and oh God, Bobby is really testing me, because I am losing every 1 second, please. So for me, this experience is one of these confirmations. Oh, look at that. I see somebody else's ring. That was very nice. Look at that. So it was one of these confirmations that when I shared last time, through the experiences that I've had with Baba, I feel without any doubt that he is the omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient Kali Yuga Purnavatar. This was another affirmation for me to have him do this for me. It may seem small, but it was big for me. It's one of these things where he shows me I've got your back, and whether in the form or not in the form, he's always with us, and he's always here. You know, he says, "Why fear when I'm here?" And that's exactly still how I feel that. And we all know that he's no longer in the form, which is a very big deal. And even though he's not in the form, he's still here. It, in that regard, makes no difference. But I wanted to share a little bit about the form and the formless, and it gets a little tricky now because I have all this stuff on my presentation that I can't share with you guys. So I'll try to just go over some of the quotes from Swami. You know, let me just try to find this correct. You know, when it comes to the form and the formless, it's such a big deal in that regard as to the fact that he was here. I'm sure that you've probably heard in one of the discourses, Swami said that it takes an enormous amount of effort, many lifetimes, just to be born at a time when the Kali Yuga avatar is on earth. And it takes that much more effort to be here on earth at the time of the Kali Yuga avatar, and then have his name, just hear his name being mentioned once. He said this in a discourse. And then he said, imagine the grace that you have sitting here listening to my discourse. So it's a huge deal. Him obviously having come in the form, and I will just share a few things here that he says. And this is one thing that early on, it's in a discourse, Swami told this very nice story about why he has come in the form. So he says, and this is a little story that he narrates. He says, you may ask, why should God himself incarnate? Why can he not set about the task of restoring dharma, righteousness, through the pantheon of beings he has at his command? This very question was asked before the courtiers of Akbar himself, for he laughed at the Hindu idea of the formless adopting form and descending into the world as an avatar to save Dharma. Tansen asked for a week's time to furnish the answer and got the time granted by His Imperial Majesty. A few days later, when he was in the pleasure boat of the emperor sailing across the lake with the emperor's family, Tansen cleverly threw overboard a doll made to look like the emperor's son, crying at the same time, "Oh, the prince has fallen into the water." Hearing this, the emperor jumped into the lake to rescue his son. Tansen then disclosed that it was only a doll and that the son was safe. He allayed the anger of Akbar by explaining that he had to enact this drama in order to demonstrate the truth of the Hindu belief that God takes human form himself to save Dharma, without commissioning some other entity to carry out the task. Dharma is as the sun. God loves it so dearly. Akbar could have ordered one among the many personnel he had on board to jump in and rescue his son. But his affection was so great and the urgency so acute that the emperor himself plunged into the lake to pull out his son. The decline in Dharma is so acute a tragedy, and the intensity of affection that God has for it is so great that He himself comes. God is love itself. He comes in human form so that you can talk to Him, move with Him, serve Him, adore Him, and achieve Him, or achieve liberation or salvation, so that you can recognize your kinship with Him. So it's one of these quotes that I've always loved very much. And I feel it was very, ever since Baba left his form back in 2011, it's been, of course, a struggle for a lot of people. I also know that a lot of people feel that they're actually closer to him because, there's, I guess, no need to go to Darshan or go to India, that kind of thing, because he's with us all the time. And I can certainly relate to that as well. I feel that way also. But I do want to talk a little bit about the significance of him leaving his form, because there's ample statements by Baba himself that he was going to be around for 96 years. And I'm going to go into a few more of his quotes that I think are very important. So we all know that Sathya means truth, and Baba has himself explained about his name. He says, Sathya Sai Baba has explained the meaning of his name. He says, Sathya means truth or true. Sa means divine and all. Ai or Ai means mother. Hence, Sai means the divine or supreme mother of all. Sa also means self-realization and visualization of the Lord, the highest stage of samadhi, and sadhana or spiritual practice. Ai means master and Baba means father. Thus, Sathya Sai Baba means the true divine mother, father of all, the goal of all yogic or spiritual endeavor, the ever merciful mother, the all-wise father, and the goal of sadhana. So, very important that when Swami has made the statements where he's, for example, he says in the Sanatana Sarthi in 1999, he says, the whole world will be transformed into Sathya Sai organization, and Sathya Sai will be installed in the hearts of one and all. He goes on, he also says in Sathya Sai Speaks Volume 2, Chapter 18, I will have to forego the car and even the airplane when I move from place to place, for the crowds pressing around me will be too huge. I will have to move across the sky. Yes, that too will happen. Believe me. You will realize Swami's glory when I walk across the sky from one end to the other. Let me tell you one more thing. Nothing can impede or halt the work of the avatar. Formerly, when the Govardhanagari mountain was raised aloft by a little boy, Krishna, the Gopis and Gopalas realized that Krishna was the Lord. Now it is not one Govardhanagari mountain that will be lifted. The whole range will be lifted. You will see. The Lord alone is aware of the plan, for His is the plan. You see only a part of the play on the stage, and so it is it is all very confused. When the entire story is unfolded, then you will appreciate his plan, not until then. This body has been assumed to serve a purpose, the establishment of Dharma and the teaching of Dharma. When that purpose is over, this body will disappear like the bubble on the waters. And so I wanted to just share all of that with you. And also we feel free, by the way, to, if you have any questions, this can be almost like a study circle if people have wanted if they have questions. But so I wanted to share this because for me, I think that we are in a time where when you look at what's been happening, we are very much challenged as humanity currently. We have the pandemic and a lot of different challenges. You can see politically, economically, all of the different things that are happening. And I think Swami is with us. He always says, why fear when I'm here? He says, hold on to my feet. And it's crucial at this difficult time when he's not in the form with us, to hold on to his feet and to hold on to his teachings and to implement his teachings and to love all and to serve all. And I do think that based on these things that Baba has said, and his name is truth, I mean, how much more appropriate can it be for this time and this age of untruth, where you can turn on the news and the truth gets stretched all the time. And for Swami's name to be truth, it's so perfect for this time. And like I said, even though he's not in form currently, it's challenging, but he will guide us through. He makes that very, very clear. I'm of the belief that we may, just like Krishna would appear in hundreds of different places at the same time. We know Sathya Sai Baba has done the same thing. We know people where that we know Bob Bazzani, we know many different people where they had Baba show up in a physical form. So we know that still can happen, and it undoubtedly is still happening in different places. So I think Swami will be here with us to guide us through the times that may be quite challenging in the near future. And on a positive note, I would like to, I can share with you what he said in let's see. This was back in, he says, this was in 2008. There's a discourse that he gave in Vrindavan. He says, believe it or not, in the next 25 to 30 years, the entire human race will become one. People of all religions like Hindu, Muslim, Christian, etc. will be united. There will be complete unity in the world. It is from Bharat, India, that the spirit of devotion for God will spread to all other parts of the world. Treasure this truth in your heart. People consider culture as a way of life. No, it is not so. Unity of all is culture. Purity is culture. You will realize divinity when you burn all your impurities. When you develop love, all your evil qualities like hatred, etc., will wither away. So in 2008, he was saying that in the next 25 to 30 years, there will be peace in the entire human race. So that would basically mean by the year 2000, it's 33 to 38. That's still pretty far away, which is a little bit scary, but I have complete confidence in his words. I have complete faith in what he has told us. There's no doubt in my mind that in the end everything will be, that the golden age will come. And I'm struggling a little bit because I have the quotes here, and it's hard to share it a little bit with you guys when you can't see it all. But So again, when I'm going to read this one more quote that is very, very important, I think, and I'm sure some of you may have heard it, but this is what he has promised us. He says, for the protection of the virtuous, for the destruction of evildoers, and for establishing righteousness on a firm footing, I incarnate from age to age. Whenever Ashanti or disharmony overwhelms the world, I lay aside my formless essence and assume a name and human form to re-educate the human community in the paths of peace, to protect the spiritual structure of the universe. At the present time, strife and discord have robbed peace and unity from the family, the school, the society, the religions, the cities, and the state. So if the avatar brings, and then this is addressing when there are challenges, so like what we are going through and what there may still be more ahead, I don't know. So he says, if the avatar brings the calamities and sufferings to an immediate end, which I can and do when there's a great need, the whole drama of creation with its karmic law, the law of cause and effect, will collapse. Instead, the avatar leads the people themselves to a higher level of consciousness to enable them to understand the truth of spiritual laws so that they may turn to righteousness and steadfastly work for better conditions. Remember, suffering occurs not because of what God has made of man, but what man has made of man. And I think it's fair to say that when we look around in the world today, there's a lot of work to do for one thing, but I think with all the sort of extreme inequities, and if you look at some countries where there's starvation, there's no water, there's no food, and in some other places there people have more money than they know what to do with. Stuff like this is there, and then how we're depleting the earth of resources. This is a trajectory that's just unsustainable. So I think this is why he came. This is why he obviously came in a form Sathya Sai Baba, and we know that Prema is coming. It's curious to me that Baba has not been clear about when exactly Prema Sai will be coming. He has also said very clearly, Sathya Sai Baba has said that by the time Prema Sai comes, there will be peace in the world. This was in a conversation with Hislop. Again, I have that on my slides, but you just have to take my word for it. In a conversation with Hislop, Baba said that by the time Prema Sai comes, all will be peace. And so there's a lot of work to do before then. Hopefully, Baba will create some miracles, or maybe we'll still get to see him from time to time, and that's my prayer and my hope. It's about 8:10. Does anybody have any questions about this subject matter? I know it's kind of maybe somewhat controversial, or maybe somewhat it's a good subject matter for study circles, because it's always interesting to get people's feedback on this kind of thinking. And basically the fact that Baba left at 85 years old, when he said on numerous discourses that he was going to be 96 years old. These are all tests, Swami has said that in order to test the nail in the wall to see if it's strong enough to hold the picture, you have to move around and shake it around, and that's what he's doing, is testing us to see, to test our faith. And he's also said a lot of people will fall away. He said there will be one person for every 12 rooms in the ashram, and I think it's a period of time that we're going through right now. People have had a hard time with him leaving his form when he has, and so the thing is, we have to keep the faith. We have to hold on to his feet, and the wife here, when I'm here, it still applies. He is still here, always working through the many people, but I feel that we may need more than just us working here and on earth. I think we're going to need more than that. So hopefully we'll see Baba still appear even before Prema Sai. But so I don't know if does anybody have any questions? It's a little bit difficult for me to do this presentation all of a sudden without the slides, but
We'd rather hear from you, Martin. Everything you're saying is 100%. You know, we love it. Just tell us more about yourself and about how you we all consider
Martin,
you a great devotee. So just tell us more.
Gene, this is Sai. Can I raise a question?
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
Sairama, brother.
Saira, how are you?
Good.
Hey, the question is this: Swami would have been 96 this year in 2022.
Yeah.
So, do you have any quote or anything or that connects
Yeah.
the possibility of something happening this year?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think that, and that's kind of the risk. One has to be very careful with making predictions. I don't know what Baba has in store. I love that quote where you say, you know, man plans and God laughs. we have no clue. I feel, I'm going to be very honest, and most of you know this already, but I have no doubts that Baba, Sathya Sai Baba, will come back, because when he says he's going to live 96 years, and he's said it on numerous occasions. I mean, I have all the quotes on the different discourses. He told Kasturi, he's done it in discourses. It's in Sathya Sai Speaks. Many different times he said 96 years old. And I think there were also some times when it could have been like 95 or whatever, but it's somewhere in that range. Now, when you asked me and said like, well, he would have been 96 this year, maybe now he's coming. That's impossible to answer, because that would be subjective. I mean, it could be this year, it could be in 5 years, it could be in 10 years. It could
Martin, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
At Swami's 80th birthday, in his discourse, he said, I am 90 years old today. And a whole murmur went through the crowd because everybody thought Swami made a mistake. But you know, they did a Vedic thing on the moons, and they said he was 96 years old by the moon going around.
Yeah.
So there was quite a bit of discussion on that. So, you know, but on the 80th birthday, he said, I'm 90 years old today.
And I love that. And that's what he does. And he has to do that. I'll give you a few examples. I was going to share this too. You know, Isaac Tigert shared in this time when there was a lot of negative stuff on the internet about Baba. And they were questioning, why does he do certain things? And people would say like, oh, it's all fake. And he does these materialization. You can see him pulling it from a sleeve and this kind of thing. So Isaac Tigert shared this story where when he was in an interview room, he said, I've seen Baba materialize a ring with the palm up, and I saw it materialize in the air, and it was spinning, and it would drop onto his palm. But I've also seen him materialize rings where he literally pulled it out of his sleeve. So the question is, why does he do that? He has to do that. He has to create duality in order for us to be tested. To me, the most important thing, he may have said that on the 80th birthday, and you know what? It could be true. And maybe it is very possible, Gene, you could be right. I'm not saying it is this way or that way. Not at all. I don't know what God has planned. I don't. The one thing I do know is that the world right now is a pretty messy place. He said very clearly, and I can read the quotes again, the reason he came in the human form, or not in a human form, the reason he came in the form of Sathya Sai Baba was to turn adharma into dharma. And when I turn on the news today, we're not there yet. So it's possible that the rest of the way is depending on us, and you know, and we just have to wait for prema. All of that is a possibility. But if you really dig into this, and I can't go through all of that in just one sitting for whatever, 40 minutes. If you really dig into this, and I do this all the time, and I did this, Swami says, I don't like slavish obedience. He tests us, and then he wants us to go deeper and search. I did that in the time when all this crazy stuff on the internet came out. I did a lot of research, and I came to the realization that, you know, we cannot judge the avatar at a human level. He is way beyond anything we can imagine. We've seen just a glimpse of it. I mean, he says in these quotes, I'm going to lift a whole range of mountains. That hasn't happened yet. He says that he will give darshan in the sky. If you read Dr. Hanuman Tapa's book, which was signed by Baba, with love Baba, where he has a dream, and he talks about this dream in his book. And Hanuman Tapa talks about Prashanti Nilayam having turned into New York City with, you have all these different colonies, for a German colony and an American colony and an Asian colony, whatever, Chinese colony. It's massive. And when he comes out for darshan, he splits himself up in all these different forms and gives darshans to all these different colonies, all these different countries. And that's alongside of what Baba has said. Baba has said that this was going to happen. When he says that this is going to happen, I believe it. Now, I could be wrong. People may look at this and go, this guy's nuts. He's lost his marbles. I can't help it. I feel it very strongly that this might happen. And I know a number of people that feel the same way. And when you dig into the teachings and you kind of connect all these different dots, I mean, it's very true, Gene. He in a discourse, if he said that, I mean, I haven't seen him. I totally take your word for it. But that's yet another thing where he creates this duality. Just like when he would tell a Sevadal on the lady's side, he said, make sure to only let all the Indian devotees in. And then he told another Sevadal, make sure you only let Western devotees in. That's how he works. I mean, there's a really cool quote about how he does that on purpose. He makes us kind of mad sometimes, like crazy, and that he's doing that for a reason. It's for our spiritual growth, for us to evolve, for us to transform, for us to detach. That I cannot say with any certainty, Gene, or anybody listening. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't. But you listen to the teachings, it's worth digging into. Sorry.
I think Didier had a question. Did you have a question? You wanted to
I
ask
just
something?
wanted to say, yes, Martin, I think you lost your marble because you were showing one missing stone.
Very good. Yay.
By the way, I heard from a great saint that when you lose the stone, because this saint that I know also materialized rings with the 9 planets, and he said that remove the karma. It means you're losing the karma. You don't need it anymore. That's what I heard many times.
So that's I'm so glad you bring it up, because I forgot to mention it was very, and I apologize because I was flustered when I couldn't get my screen to share. So I feel a little flustered. So a lot of things one of the reasons I wanted to share, because it's a funny story too, but also because I wanted to ask if anybody here online knows of jewelers or no. Okay, first of all, you've already kind of answered it. Knows of what the significance is, and knows if somebody knows what it means, and is there a message that I need to get from it. So it's very important to share that. That's number one. And number two, sorry, I'll wrap it up. And number two is just if anybody knows of a jeweler, and I know I may not need it anymore, and so maybe I won't put it back. But if a jeweler, if I get that message very loud and clear, then I will leave it out and I'll just keep it safe somewhere. Thank you, Gene.
I know of a jeweler for you. I'll
I
send
do
you one,
too.
Martin. I'll send you a jeweler.
Yeah, and I think Ananya want to say something. Yes, Ananya.
So with like astrological, the 9 planet thing, it's basically the karmic, nullification of whatever karma is. And like DDA said, whenever it falls out, you don't need it anymore. That means, so which particular, you have to first find out which out of the 9 planets,
the blue,
and maybe
Saturn,
the sapphire, right? The Saturn.
Sapphire.
So maybe when you went through your, the heart issue and COVID, you needed it, and I think it took away all your karma. So I would still keep the stone, but generally the consensus is like you don't put it back because it has already taken everything away. But because Baba gave you, I think you should just keep it in the puja room.
That's awesome to hear. And I actually think that I mean, that's now two people. So both DJ and Anya, I'm very grateful for that, because it's obviously safer there. The fact that I lost it twice and came back twice, I don't need to tempt fate any further and put it, you know, because if it's not supposed to be in there, then it's going to keep falling out.
Yeah,
So-
Maarten, are you still sleeping on the robe?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that.
Every night. Okay, well, so in the first, and I'll get to you also, Harita. I see your hand.
Yeah.
So in that interview, and I think I shared this. This was amazing. Gene was doing the creation film, and he was in there like daily. It was amazing, crazy. So we were lucky. We got in a couple times. I got in the first interview. He materialized the ring, and then he was throwing his robes to people, and I ended up he threw a robe on my lap, and he said, put it on your pillow, under your pillow every night. So I have every night since then. I think I may have skipped it once or twice. One time I left in India, I left it in a hotel, ouch. And I got it back, thank God, but I wasn't able to sleep that one night with it under my pillow. But every night since then, every night I'm sleeping on it. I don't know what it does or what it means, but if he says to do it, I do it. I don't question it. But thank you for that question, Gene.
Yeah.
I also feel.
Harita,
Sorry.
so you wanna say something? What do you?
Yes. So
Yeah.
I feel that because the second time you said I'll do the Veda chanting, just like, you know, during your meditation, ask Sai Baba if like he wants you to put it in, but because it fell off 2 times, you can just put it in a way in a meditation room where when you're doing the chanting, you can focus on it. So it's still part of your life, but I don't think you need it in the ring anymore. But you have to, it has to come to you from Baba as well. So
very good. Well, he works through all of us, and both you and Didier are channels for him, and so this is very clear already. But yes, I will also do meditation. And I've had it with the rope. I've kept it. I put it very carefully, taped it to a little piece of paper, put it in a lock, and kept it with the rope, so it's safe. And I'm going to keep it that way for now, and probably forever if I get it confirmed that that's the way forward. And so, Harita, did you have a question?
Oh yeah, I just like to when you said about the ring, you lost the stone. I remember the story about a teacher, my sister's high school English teacher that happened to that he is a really devoted to Swami. So he got also a ring, and then with 3 diamonds, and then one day 1 diamond he lost it, and then but it happened again. He found it in the bathroom, and he took it to the drawer, put it back, and then not long again he lost it again.
Yeah.
And what he learned from that is, first of all, is diamond mean a die your mind. You're not attached to that. So then until the end of his life, he passed away when he was 90. He just have still in his finger only 2 diamonds. That's it. He didn't know where is it again. When I asked him, how do you feel when you lost it? And I said, of course, he become like frustrated a little bit, because this is from Swami, and then how come I lost it? And then at the end, when he found it, he was so happy, and then took it back again from to the drawer. And then when he lost it the second time, he said, oh, it's meant to be.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No attachment.
I'm getting that feeling too, especially after what everybody is shared tonight and what you're sharing. It sounds like, and I'm actually fine with it. I was upset that that it was gone, but the fact that I found it and the fact that it's not in the ring is one thing. If I would have lost it altogether, or something that he had materials, that would have been more difficult to detach from, so to speak. So yeah.
Thank you, Maarten, so much. Yeah, does anyone have any other questions to Maarten? Okay.
The one thing I will be glad to share, either by, I can send it to you, and then you can either, I mean, if people are interested, you know, Dr. Bhagia from England talks about Baba actually told a devotee where he said, I will leave twice. Baba said that. So he shares that. And actually, Jean, you shared that video on at the center. I'm not sure if it was the right, but anyway, he talks in that talk, he shares about how Baba has said, I will leave twice. There's so much out there. Sathya Kingdom Come by Srijit Narayan, who wrote this book, who goes step by step why he thinks that.
I read that book. It's a beautiful book.
I recommend, for those people who are curious about it, there's a lot of stuff about this, and the more you kind of connect the dots, the more. And you know, okay, this is the last thing I want to share. The reason I'm sharing it is because every day it makes me so joyful in the heart. I have no doubts. I know that I could be wrong, but just the feeling that I feel that he's coming back is makes me happy. I don't want to. The only reason I'm sharing is not. It's just hopefully that if somebody starts digging into this too and comes away with the same conclusion, they will feel a lot of joy in their heart too. That's the only reason I'm sharing it. Sairam.
Yeah. Sairam, Maarten, thank you so much for beautiful sharing.